Hello everyone. I just want to do a really quick check because I know it's already 9 o'clock. So if you're here and you're listening, if you can leave a comment somewhere, either on one of the Facebook groups that the event was in or on this Google Hangout, and just let me know if you can hear me. That would be great. I was going to say that I don't really want to talk to myself, but I do that most of the time anyway, so I don't suppose it would matter that much. Just while I'm waiting for some response, I just wanted to say that this is actually one of my favourite and worst topics to talk about, the rules of copywriting, mainly because I see people post about the rules all the time. They're constantly saying that, you know, you need to write your copy in one way or another, and you know, if it's not written in a certain way, then people kind of make it sound like the world's going to collapse on your head, or you're going to lose masses of money, you're going to be jinxed forever, your head's going to fall off, you're going to get boils, all the rest of it, and it's just not true. So I wanted to address that point straight away and hopefully alleviate some of the anxiety that is that seems to be put on people when they're trying to write their own copy. You know, there's no need to get that worked up about these sort of mythical rules when you're writing your copy. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. So I'm going to get going. Okay, if you're watching this and you haven't got a clue who I am, my name's Meme. I am the Crack-a-lacking Copy Mentor. It's such a gobful, but I've got a massive mouth, so it doesn't matter. So I basically help coaches, VAs, service-based entrepreneurs write their own copy instead of having to farm everything out to a copywriter, although I am a copywriter as well. So yeah, that's me. And today I want to really dive into some of these copywriting rules and copywriting sort of myths as well, you know, and it's even if they've not been like put in a frame of this is a rule, you must stick to it, for some reason a lot of the people that I speak to still think that these statements are true, and still think that something terrible is going to happen to them if they don't abide by these statements. So I'm going to dive straight into the first one, and it is the one that I absolutely hate most of all, and it's when people say to me, I can't write my own copy because it's not professional enough. And it's this whole big thing around your copy needs to look and sound professional, which to a certain extent is true. It should be professional. You know, if you're writing for your business, then it needs to be professional. But my hang up with this is that I think that people have got this preconception of what professional actually is. For me, and for 99% of people out there, to be professional, you have to be good at what you do. You have to take care of the tasks that you've got to do and take care of your clients in a professional manner. And when it comes down to it, none of that has got anything to do with the style and tone of your writing. And really, when people are talking about professional copywriting, that's actually what they're getting at. That's the point. They're saying that, you know, oh, you have a laugh with your copy. You make too many jokes in there. It's not professional enough. Or, you know, you go into a story, and I just really want to know the benefits, so that's not professional enough. And because people say things like that and they have these preconceptions of what professional is, that means that people like you, or people like some of my clients, for example, have this massive block in their head that, like, I can't write copy. And what's happening is that I see people that are actually very good at writing in their own voice, in their own style. They've got bags of personality, and they're quite happy to share that personality with their reader and with their ideal client. But then what happens is, this professional word crops up into the head, like ties a bag around the head, and just doesn't let them move anywhere. It doesn't allow them to express themselves in their copy like they want to. Professional is not a style. It's the way that you commandeer yourself. It's the way that you handle your business. And then when you turn it around, and instead of thinking about professional, you start thinking about just being an expert in your field, that is when you can kind of ease off, because that's what people really need you to be. They just need you to be an expert at what you do. They need you to be able to tell them that you can help them through what you're writing. And none of that has got anything to do with kind of writing boring copy that's lifeless, that is not personal at all, that doesn't make a connection with people. And then a while ago, I actually got told off by somebody who had liked one of my business pages, and they literally said, "Why are you posting like funny tidbits on your business page? Who wants to know about that?" They hadn't bothered to read the rest of the post, so they didn't get the fact that I'd related a story to an actual benefit and to a business tip at all. They just kind of seen this very relaxed way of writing that I have, that I'm quite proud of actually as well. And they just got off on one and said that I was completely unprofessional and that they didn't want to like my page anymore. To which my response was, that's fine, because there's no way ever that we would work together. So I really, thanks for your opinion kind of thing, but I'm not bothered. And I think rather than focusing on being professional in your copywriting, you need to focus on being yourself and helping your clients, and that will give the professionalism. That is what it is all about. But it's not there to think about as I can't have a laugh in my copy, or I can't tell stories in my copy, or I can't sort of get really serious about something for a minute. It's just throw the word professional out altogether. Hate it. I don't hate the word, I just hate what people have started to use the word for. People have got completely the wrong end of the stick when it comes to professional copywriting. So that is rule one that I hate, and we will dismiss forevermore. The next one is that headlines need to be short. I don't know where it originated from. Well, I do have an idea actually, but I'm not going to bore you with the backstory. But basically, how it's come about is that in all copy, actually, words are precious. So if you go on and write a whole page of copy, and it turns out that you've just been rambling the whole time, you're repeating yourself every 2 minutes, it won't be a very productive page. It won't convert very well. It won't engage your audience. Okay, so the idea is that you need to take out all the fluff and just be left with the real meat of the copy, the real meat of the message, but do it in an entertaining way that people will remember. Okay, so that's the idea behind good copywriting. And the same goes for your headline as well. But then somewhere along the way, people have started going, well, a 5-word headline is just golden. It's amazing. So then you get people that are trying to condense a lot of information that they want to give away in the headline into these 5 words or 7 words or whatever. And then what happens is it sounds like a robot on speed or something. Like you're reading it, there's bits missing. The flow of the headline doesn't go together properly. None of it makes sense. And quite frankly, you're just left there thinking, I don't even know what that article's about. I don't know whether it's for me or not. I have no use for this in my life. And quick as you like, you pressing the back button, or or going somewhere else, making yourself approve of something. So the thing with headlines is that you will get a headline for lots of different things. So if you think about it, you'll have a headline for blog posts, then you'll have headlines for your sales page, you'll have headlines for your emails as well, like your subject line is basically a headline. But because they all do different things, your headline and the length of your headline will change from page to page, depending on the purpose of the actual copy. So for instance, your blog post, you'll have seen a million blog posts that have lists, 10 tips to clean your pool out in 5 minutes flat, something. And the thing with those is blog post headlines can really range, normally from kind of a mid to long range for blog posts, because you tend to have benefit-driven blog post headlines that have to tell a little bit about what's in the actual article itself to make people want to read more. So to do that, you have to some people will put the benefit in there. Some people will do a power combo of 2 benefits. Okay, so that would be save time and money. Although I hate, that's a rubbish example because it's one of the most overused phrases in any kind of copy. So don't use that. And then when you've got an email headline or an email subject line, okay, you can play, it depends on the email. If it's an informational email, then you could treat it the same way as your blog headline. But then if you're asking a question or something and it's a quick email to get a response, then you might want to ask a question in your subject line as well. So in actual fact, with email subject lines, you could have a very, very short, powerful headline that really just makes people want to click through. It's like, oh, what's this about? I'll click on it and see and open it up and find out. So you probably won't want a big, huge, long headline there. A short one would do. Sales pages and things like that, again, you're looking at benefit-driven headlines. The same with webinars. A lot of people tend to have longer webinar headlines because they really want to show off exactly what the webinar is all about before people even have to read any more copy. So you would be trying to get people to make their mind up from that headline whether they're going to join the webinar or not. So again, you've got something that's much longer than the 5 words there. Like for a 5-word webinar headline would have to be crazily good, or the subject of the webinar would have to be really, really, so narrowed down that you could literally describe it in 5 words, which most of the time is not going to happen. So trying to squeeze that into 5 words would just be, it would be death to your conversion rate, basically. So yeah, short headlines or the length of headlines completely depends on the purpose of the copy. So yeah, don't just go out there and try and get rid of every single word out of your headline and just end up there with 5 random words, because it won't work. And just while we're on the subject of headlines, I was talking about powerful combos before, and the powerful combo of 2 benefits rather than 1 benefit in a headline. But one of the most powerful combos for headlines is if you use your main headline and then you've got a little subheader right underneath it. Okay. People will say to you, yeah, your headline needs to attract attention, it needs to get people to click through to the next bit, and it needs to explain the article, and it needs to give the benefits. And they'll reel off all these things a headline has to do. Like, you know, these 5 to 12 words or whatever in a headline, they must do all this. And it's like, that's quite a lot of pressure to put on a headline. You know, it's one sentence. So the fact is, it probably isn't going to do all of those things. It could do 1 or 2 of those things very, very well. Like, you know, yes, it is going to need to attract people and make them want to read more. But explaining things in detail or giving people like a little outline of what's to come, there might not be enough room in your headline for that. That's where your subhead comes in. Okay, so say you have something, get more clients without breaking a sweat. Okay, that's your main headline. So then the subhead then could go into 5 things you mustn't do, or 5 things you must do to sign up more clients. So it's they're 2 separate headlines. It's not a continuation of the headline itself. It is a separate entity. But when you combine those 2 together, that's when you've got a really powerful combo that does more than sort of 2 things. It attracts people, it explains, it gives the benefit, and it makes people want to read on. So don't try and squeeze everything into a teeny tiny little headline, because it won't work for you. The third rule that I wanted to talk about is when people say you have to have long form copy. Long form copy sells better than anything else. So, you know, if you've got a sales page and it's less than 3,000 words, you will not make a sale. Okay, so, and then when you talk to people, people will say, I hate long sales pages. I can't stand them. They bore me. I don't want to read all of it. I just want to get to the bottom and find out what the price is. Okay, so you've instantly got a few different schools of thought there. The thing about the length of copy is similar to the headlines. It has to be enough to get your client or to get your reader to convert and to take action. So no matter what that action is, whether it is to opt in for a freebie that you're giving away, or whether it is to sign up for one of your high-end packages, or whether it's to, I don't know, my mind's gone blank. But basically, when you're trying to get somebody to take action, it's going to take a certain amount of words. And it will never be a set amount of words, because it depends completely on who you're talking to and where they're coming from. Okay, so an example of this, a perfect example actually, and it's not my example, I need to hold my hands up, it's not mine, I just couldn't think of a better one, and it illustrates the point really easily. So when people say about, oh, that person could sell ice to an Eskimo, right, and they're saying it like it's a near impossible thing. But in the right circumstances, it is so easy to sell ice to an Eskimo. Okay, so if you put an Eskimo in Jamaica next to a pool, and they're really hot, and then you've got a Jamaican sat next to them, and they've never seen ice, never seen snow, nothing. All they know, both the Eskimo and the Jamaican know that they are red hot and they want to cool down. Okay, if you walked up to the Eskimo and said, I've got loads of fresh ice here, the only person around here that's got it, do you want some? Then the Eskimo would be like, yeah, hell yeah, I want some, ice me. You go up to a Jamaican who has never seen ice or heard of ice or anything, he's really hot, just as hot as the Eskimo. You say to him, listen, I've got some ice, do you want some? He's going to be saying, what the hell is ice? Why do I need it? So you're going to have to take more time to explain, ice is really cold, it'll cool you down, you can have it in your drink, you can, you put it down your top or whatever. You would have to, it would take a slightly longer sales pitch to that Jamaican than it would do to an Eskimo. Why? Because the Eskimo is aware of both the problem that he has and the solution for it and the products that he needs. Okay, so all he had to be told was that you were the person that could solve the problem for him. Whereas the Jamaican knew that he had a problem, did not know what the solution was, and did not know that you had the solution. So you would have to explain all of that in more detail to him. So when it comes to your copy, you have to think about how aware is your reader of their problem. Do they know that they need to take step A followed by step B, and you're there to help them? Or do they know that they have a problem, but they have not got a clue what to do next about it? They really don't know how to fix the problem. They don't know where to look for answers, and you're going to kind of have to lead them away and sort of explain everything to them in a little bit more detail before they become aware of the solution and confident that you have that solution for them. So for a sales page, the reason that people will tell you that long form sales copy works better than short form is because a lot of the time, what you will be trying to do with your sales page is you will be trying to explain everything to the person. So you'll be making them aware of the problem with, then you'll be emphasizing that problem with the pain points and things like that. Then you'll be telling them to imagine the future, if they could just do this, this, and this. So now they know that, okay, that's, this is my problem. There is a solution to it, and this is what I have to do for that solution. And then you come in with, right, okay, this is the benefit of working with me, which, kind of comes back to you being the best solution for them. So you try and do all of that in the sales page, because most of the time you would assume that either people who already know you and trust you are going to the sales page, but there will also be other people that don't necessarily know you as well. So you write for the person who might not know you as well, which takes longer form. Having said that, if you have a sales funnel in place where your sales page is actually at the end of quite a lengthy process, like maybe you don't have your sales page up, just on your website or something. Maybe it's a separate kind of landing page that you use for a sales page, and the only way that you're driving people there is maybe from your email list. And in your emails, you've taken them through quite a few emails and quite a few different things, like maybe you'll take them through your email to your blog, and then from your blog background to something else, so that eventually, they haven't just arrived there thinking, I don't know what my problem is, what is the solution, how can I just stop feeling this way? In actual fact, through the rest of the funnel, you've taken them on this journey and said, right, okay, this is why you're not happy with this part of your business. This is the kind of thing that you need to be looking at for a solution. This is what I offer, and it is that same solution. And this is why I am so much better at it than anybody else for you. Okay, so by the time you land on that end sales page, you wouldn't need to explain who you are, what you do, the benefits, blah, blah, blah. It would just be like wrapping everything up. So then you've got a completely, you could write maybe 400 to 500 words on that sales page, whereas a sales page where nobody knows you, and you're having to really convince them from the start, that's going to be a lot longer. So saying long form copy is going to sell more is just, it's not true. I mean, it's not false. It's not false that to think that long form copy will sell. It's just not it's not the be all and end all. It completely depends on who your client is, where they are in the buying process, how much they know about you, how much they know about your product or your service, and and how much convincing they're going to take, basically, to take that next step to sign up. The last one that I wanted to talk about as well was, people say that you should use a wide vocabulary in your copy. To be more precise, people say that if you use profanity in your copy, then it means that you don't have a wide vocabulary, or that you're not interesting enough to make your point without swearing. This is something that I came across a couple of weeks ago, actually. And I know it's a really controversial subject. Well, maybe not as controversial anymore, actually, because I don't think it is. I think quite a few people are more open to using profanity in the copy. I don't think it's like a shock horror thing anymore when you see it either. To be fair, I might be a little bit biased because I swear it like a sailor when I'm at home, to be quite honest with you. But the idea that because you don't talk as though or because you don't write as though you swallowed a dictionary, that it means that you are somehow less talented or less able to get clients via your copy is just ridiculous. It's like the most ridiculous thing that I've heard for ages, and that includes the professional stuff as well. I cannot believe it. I read a blog post on it the other day, or the other week rather, and it really annoyed me to the point where it made me swear, actually. So people do not want to read something and be sat there reading a sentence for an hour because you've used every single syllable that you can in one word before you move on to the next word. The job of your copy is to connect with people and speak to them in a way where they feel like they get to know you, they get to know what you do, they feel safe around you, and you have to think about the average reading rate of your reader as well. Like if you've got a client that's educated to high school standard, and then you're writing in a way that sounds like a university textbook, then what is that going to do? That's going to alienate people even more than if you dropped in the odd F-bomb or whatever. Well, maybe not. Well, whatever. But the fact is that it doesn't, you don't have to use a ton of really long-winded words. You don't have to sound like a scientist in your copy. Granted, if you're talking about technical things and scientific things in your copy, then that's cool. But then explain them in layman's terms, because you are speaking to somebody, if you're an expert in something and you're talking to somebody that's to the point of talking as if you're or writing as if you're speaking to another expert that completely gets what's going on. Okay, you can throw out all the phrases in the world that might mean something to a fellow nutritionalist or a fellow tech head, right? Okay, but for the likes of me and most of your clients, we don't get it. And then back to the profanity thing, and using hugely ridiculously long words when you don't need to. It can be a bit tedious to read, to be honest. I wouldn't use any gimmicks in your copy. Like if you have read an article that's like effing and jeffing all over the place, and you've seen some comments on there saying, oh, I love the style of your writing. And then you go out there and you try and do the same thing, but in actual fact, it's, you know, that's not your personality at all. Then what's going to happen with you is you're going to get people on a call, they're going to talk to you, and they might well swear at you. Well, not at you, but, you know, swear while they're talking to you. And it could be that you actually get quite offended with them if you're not that way inclined. So you have to be 100% you in your copy. There's no point in trying to be anyone else. And, you know, if you don't like swearing in copy, fair enough. If you do like it, or you kind of feel a connection with that reader, with the writer because of it, which happens quite a lot actually. You know, the amount of people that have said to me, oh, I really liked your copy, and you know what, I felt really at ease when you say things like, oh, I think this is shitty or whatever. So some people will feel at ease, some people will get turned off by it. But to say that you're going to lose money if you swear in your copy is just, it's a lie, basically. It's not going to happen. If you talk to your clients the way that you would talk to your clients in your copy, and you talk to them in the same way as you would talk to them if you know, they were stood right in front of you, and if you let your personality shine, warts and all, what happens is, yeah, it will repel some people, but the people that you would love to spend time with, and that would love to spend time with you while they're learning from you, those people will actually get drawn in. So while you're pushing others away, there will be a close-knit community of people that just think, oh, I just get her, I get the way that she writes, I love the way that she talks, you know, I really understand it and I want to work with it, and it's exciting to read a copy. And I'm not saying that, you know, that profanity is the only thing that ignites that feeling in people. That's just one example. You know, you can use anything in your copy. You need to use your personality. If you're quite a funny person, then yeah, by all means, use your sense of humour. If you're quite a caring person, you know, like one of those people that just puts people to ease straight away, then if you can figure out how to write the way that you speak, then you're instantly going to put people at ease as they're reading your copy, and that's amazing. And it won't have anything to do with 5-syllable words, and it won't have anything to do with technical terms and phrases. You know, write the way that you speak. In fact, write the way that you would explain something to a 5-year-old. I'm not telling you to patronise your reader, but if you write something where you're explaining how to do something, what not to do, blah, 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 if you can then turn around and read that out, and a 5-year-old or a young child would be able to understand it, then that's a really good kind of, that's a really good bar to set for yourself, because it means that everybody would be able to understand it then. Oh, and there's one last thing as well, actually, one more rule. Some people will tell you to be really clever with your copywriting and write clever headlines and things like that. And again, it's one of those things that seems to, over time, like when it was first talked about, I'm sure that the person who wrote it and the person who was advising people meant it in a positive way, and it is really good advice. But then over time, people that haven't fully understood it have turned these phrases and these rules into something completely different. And now it's mayhem, it's like Thunderdome or something, but in a bad way, because Thunderdome's awesome. And so people are like, they're trying to come up with the weirdest headlines, and because you can write clever stuff and you can write things where it will literally make people go, what is that about? I need to just click on that just to see But you don't want to be doing that for every headline, and you don't want to be doing that for every single article that you put out there, and you don't want to be doing it on, you know, on every single sales page and throughout the sales page as well. It's kind of like a bit of a one-trick pony. Okay, if you've written a headline that's a little bit wacky, for the sake of being clever, then that's cool. But then your next paragraph is going to have to explain that headline and sort of give people a realistic reason to read on through the rest of the copy. And a lot of people will use these metaphors that are completely bizarre. It's almost like reading something or it's almost like walking into a room full of people and you've got these two people stood there and they're telling all these inside jokes, and it's absolutely hilarious to them because they go back years, they know exactly what each other are talking about. So one of them will say a sentence and the other one will crack up laughing, and then they'll say something back, and to you it's like, what are they on about? It sounds like they're slightly deranged, but to them, they get it, they know what's going on. Now, with clever headlines, you don't want to be one of those people that is like telling inside jokes. Okay, you need to let your audience in on that joke. So if you use a really strange metaphor, then you're going to have to make sure that it's very obvious to everybody else who's reading what the point is, and what point you're trying to make. So yeah, clever doesn't mean bizarre. Clever can mean putting a little twist on things. So coming at things from a slightly different angle to what everybody else has been doing lately. And it can mean sort of making your headline highly engaging from the get-go. A clever headline would be that 1-2 power combo that I was on about, with a headline and a subline as well. So it's not just about being weird just for the sake of being weird. Like, I'm weird all the time, but I am genuinely a little bit crazy and weird in a non-psycho way. So yeah, professional is something that you are, it's the way that you conduct your business, but it is not a style and tone of copywriting. It doesn't mean boring. It doesn't mean anything really. It's quite impossible to have a kind of professional copywriting style. You use your style, your voice, and run your business professionally. Headlines can be depending on what the purpose of the copy is. Length of copy depends on the awareness of your client and your reader. So it's not fair to say that only short copy will win them over or only long copy will win them over. It depends on the circumstances again. And it's really, you know, I keep using that word, it depends, or the phrase, it depends. And that's because it's true. When you're writing copy, you're going to be writing it across a ton of different platforms. Okay, there's going to be your social media posts, your blogs, your sales pages, your emails, your guest blog posts. There's a lot of things to think about. They all have slightly different ways to come at them, and they've all got a slightly different purpose within this kind of sales funnel that you're setting up for yourself. So to treat everything the same and to say that there's this blanket way of writing your copy is just ridiculous. Like, it's not true. And all that it does, by calling them rules as well, this is the other problem that I've got without wanting to rant for too long. By calling them rules, everybody like bends over backwards to stick to these things then. I've had people come to me before saying, oh, I'm really nervous about writing my copy because I'm actually quite a creative person, and I know that you can't be creative with copy. What? That is mind-blowing to me. Like, copy is one of the most creative outlets for people that I know of. It's just this preconception that people have. You think that they're quite all right with talking face to face with people and being themselves. You know for a fact that if you get in a room with somebody or you're on the phone with them, then your personality, you make that connection with them, and it's not a problem. You can close sales, you can bring on new clients. And then there is this wall that comes down for people, and it's like, oh no, but now it's written, so now everything's got to change because I'm writing, so it's a lot more formal now. And that whole thought process just needs to be banished forever, because I think it's just a huge problem for people. You're communicating with your ideal client just in a slightly different way. So whether it's on the phone, in person, or through your web copy or your sales page or whatever, however it is a form of communication, and you should always feel like you can be yourself. The copywriting elements that come into it are just to make things easier for you to make your point, and make sure that it's easier for your reader to understand you better and to understand what you're trying to achieve with your copy. But it's not a noose around your neck trying to get you to do things one way, otherwise terrible things will happen. So that's really what I wanted to talk about tonight. On the events pages, I did actually mention the fact that I've got a bit of a bonus for people that have watched live, and well, for people that have reached the end of the webinar, which we are very near the end now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer an hour's coaching with me, or an hour's copy mentoring. We'll look at one page or one problem that you have, and we will sit down and hash it out until you are completely confident with either the page or the problem. So if you've got one of these blocks about, not sounding professional enough in your copy, or you can't find your own style or something like that, that's fine, we'll hash it out. If you have a page that you absolutely despise, you know that it isn't you, you know that that it doesn't sound like you and that it's not doing the job that it needs to do, then we'll collaborate together, and I'll go through it with you, and we'll edit the page together as well, so that it's all brand new and shiny and beautiful and very much you, and it attracts your ideal clients. So that is up for grabs for free. What I'm going to need you to do is leave me a comment on my Facebook page, or send me a private message on my Facebook page telling me why you would need that call, why you think, tell me why you need the call, and tell me the difference that call could make to you and your business. So that's the freebie prize bonus. And what I'll do is I'll read through all of those, and then I'll be announcing the winner on the page on Saturday morning. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I do have one more thing to talk about as well, and it is my trip to London. Okay, I'm going to London town. Oh, I love London. And I've opened up some spaces to come and work with me for the day. Now, originally, these spaces were £3,000 for the person for the full intensive experience. It's amazing. We're going to stay in a top London hotel. It's beautiful. It looks right out onto the London Eye and Big Ben. Oh. You get one night's accommodation. You get your meals and snacks and drinks for the day that we work together. Before the actual day, we'll get to meet up on Skype and have a little Skype date just to sort out exactly what it is that you need to do with your copy. Okay, because the whole day, as soon as we kind of get stuck into the day, it's all going to be about getting new clients in extremely quickly. Okay, so normally, you know, you might be thinking, right, oh, I need to work on my autoresponding. I need to get my website up and running. I need to get some social media posts out there. I don't know which one to do first. On this day, you do not have to choose which to do first. We're going to take it all. We're going to whip everything up so that everything's outlined, everything's almost ready to go. After the day, you'll go away and you'll put some finishing touches on things. You'll send them back to me, like different pages and things like that. I'm going to go work a little bit of magic on it. You're going to send stuff out there. Your clients are going to go hot damn and work with you straight away. And yeah, and then we're going to have some follow-up calls as well. So that was £3,000 when I originally put it up. But in actual fact, I wanted to make it a little bit special as well, because it is special, because I'm also going to be in London for my wedding dress. I'm very excited. So I've decided that I am going to slash the price down again to £1,900, which is just crazy good, like seriously crazy. And that offer is up until the 7th of May, which is next Thursday, I think. I'm pretty sure it's next Thursday. Yes, it is. So a week today, that offer is taken off the table. I've got 3 places to work with me. So once those 3 places have gone, any other time that I come back to London, the price, you know, £1,900 is not on the table, basically, anyway. And if you have watched this webinar and decide that, you know, you do want your copy to be strong enough to start bringing in clients consistently, your favorite kind of clients as well, you know, the clients that are there, they're ready to do the work, you love them to bits, you could quite easily go out with them to the pub or something and you just love them to bits. If you want to work with those people and bring those people in all the time and they're ready to kind of just go, yeah, send me the invoice now, I'm there with you, I just want to work with you, then that's basically what I help with. So if you watch this, you decided that you want to do that, you know that working with me for the day and getting everything sorted out in that one day and making sure that, you know, it's perfect, then you can hit me up on either my Facebook page or you can email me at crackerlackingcopy.com. crackerlackingcopy@gmail.com. Email me there and let me know if you want the £1,900 deal. Let me know that you've watched this video as well and this training and say, hey, I saw you were amazing on the webinar, you know, like really give me a compliment, because I've got a massive ego and it needs feeding all the time. Say that to me, tell me that you're up for the intensive day experience, and I will throw in a half intensive virtual day 3 months after the intensive day. Okay, so the intensive day itself will set you up for the next 90 days after that day. So you'll have your social media posts, you'll have blog posts, you'll have an opt-in offer, you'll have emails set to go. Everything will be planned out for 90 days after that, after the intensive day. And everything will be lined up to get your results straight away. And then at the end of that 90 days, you will also get another half intensive day with me where we can do a little bit of sneak peeking and just be like, okay, then let's take things to the next level and set you up for the following few weeks as well. So essentially for that £1,900, you could very well get over 5 months worth of copy sorted, clear in your head, and oodles of amazing clients. So hit me up. That is it for today's webinar. I'm not doing a Q&A session on this one because next week I am going to have a live Q&A. So if you have got any questions, if they're really desperate, then just send me a message on Facebook. But if you've got any questions, or you've got questions about something that I haven't spoken about tonight, but you just want to ask me, pile them all up, write them all down on a notepad, on a massive notepad, like massive notepad, write them down, come armed with them. Next week, I'll be posting details in my Coaches Mastermind group. If you haven't found it on Facebook yet, then go there quickly and find it. Yeah, and bring all your questions and I will be answering them live on video so you can see the hair again. And yeah, that's it, I think. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.